What's going on, guys? Rybombi Teacher in the house, and I'm here with the GPL Week 7 Power Rankings. It's that time again, where we are pretty damning and pretty fun, and we have a laugh, and I take the mick out of my co-host because he lost again this week. Say hi, Dinistrio.
I didn't lose. I forfeited with style. But hello, people. How's it going?
So, as always, of course, with our power rankings, we are going to be using our opinions quite a lot, but these power rankings are primarily done on a results basis, with win-loss as your primary factor and differential being a tiebreaker in any events of similar win-loss. Please bear in mind, of course, these are our opinions. You're welcome to disagree with us. Feel free to comment or mention to us in Discord if you disagree with us. It's perfectly fine. We're here to have a bit of fun. But, yep, as always, let's kick things off and start with rank number 16, who seems to be a bit all too familiar down here at the moment. It's going to be Crimpix, who's currently 07. I've tried so much to put faith in Crimpix, I really have. But the more the games go on, the less likely I see him winning matches anymore, because his matches now are so difficult that his best opportunity was Huddled, who unfortunately didn't play. However, this week against EXO, I was quite impressed. He did actually make a couple of really good reads. I liked the Mega Blastoise Aura Sphere play to catch the Magnezone on the switch, and then I did like immediately the turn after the switch out into Rhyperior, predicting the Thunderbolt from the Tapu Koko. But aside from that, there weren't really any chances for Crimpix to get back into the match. He was put behind very quickly, and EXO is the kind of person that will punish you if he's ahead. So I think it was a tough match for Crimpix.
Oh yeah, it definitely was. And Crimpix's team is just, I'm not sure what he's aiming for, if he's trying to go for a Trick Room. He's not going for a Trick Room. I mean, based on the fact that all his Pokemon seem really so, I can only imagine he was going for a Trick Room. But I mean, I think he's run the same team now for the last like maybe 5 or 6 weeks. Maybe Trick Room's just not working out, and against all these experienced people who know how to play around it. I think maybe trying to start something up new, maybe chuck a Scarf and Victini, just, you know, get that Snorlax with the Gluttony, try and get some damage done. You know, just there's a few options that we've got available. I don't know. I think there's still potential. Last a couple of weeks now, he needs to take this experience and fly with it, I think.
Yeah, absolutely. I think the thing that catches him is his team lends so perfectly to Trick Room, but he didn't even know what Trick Room was until I mentioned it in, I think it was week 3, somewhere like there. And he responded to me as, I don't even know what a Trick Room is. So it's like he's had to learn what Trick Room is while building a Trick Room team. So I felt like when the draft happened, he didn't realize what he drafted and how he drafted it, and he's kind of being found wanting because this division is a division of death, right? When you look at every single player that's in this division, there's no one now in this league, and we do have a newcomer this week, but has got very strong battle mechanics. So there's now 7 players in this league, and Crimpix. It's kind of very difficult for him, but
I wanna see Rhyperior be a bit more offensive too. Toxic on Rhyperior, I don't think is working. I'll try and utilize that attack more, I think, as well. At least get some chip damage off. You know, Rhyperior, he's a big boy. He's a strong hard hitter. You know, I think some more offensive plays on Rhyperior might actually be a nice like turn of events for him as well. Might do him some good.
yeah, assuming of course Rhyperior is actually good in the matchup. That's the other thing, because Rhyperior is very matchup dependent.
Alright, Crimpix, I got this right. Rock Polish, Weakness Policy, Rhyperior. Off you go, son. I believe.
Or just go even simpler than that and go with Double Dance, because it does get SD and Rock Polish. So you can hand just Double Dance into Edgequake, which is insanely powerful. Oh, even go for Head Smash if you want. Just be wary of that health bar. But yeah.
What health bar? All he sees is kills.
Well, yeah, there is that. Or he sees his own health bar dropping. But yeah. Alright, coming in at rank number 15. I do apologise straight in advance, but I am going to be a little bit damning with this one. Big Nab, new team. Unfortunately, the match this week didn't go ahead. Nitro, bless him, who's just joined the league, he had a lot of time issues. He is very busy with schoolwork and stuff like that. But as far as I'm concerned, Big Nab joined the league for 2 games. He mental boomed against Dizzy for no reason, which was pathetic. and then he left the league just because his match didn't play. I've been critical of his attitude and his behavior before. I despise this kind of player, as far as I'm concerned, and I've said this before, I don't think this player should have joined the league, but ultimately, at the end of the day, he's gone now. I was very disappointed with his behavior in Discord. It's a shame. It's something you don't want to see happen. But there is a bright side to it, of course. We have immediately got a replacement. Yarufo, otherwise known as Lotos, has joined the league, so we do welcome you in. He is brand new to draft, of course, which is a little unfortunate because he's in a very losing situation. But it's a good opportunity for him to get some draft league experience before next season. Next season's going to be a very tough league. Potentially, if we keep the most of the crop of players that we do have. But I think it's a great opportunity for a player to just come in, play 5 or 6 games. I think it's 5 games left to play after this. And
Just
get
a
some
feel for
understanding,
things,
get some idea of how things work and things like that. So I think it's a nice opportunity. Obviously, he's not going to make playoffs or anything like that, so we can't really talk further than that. But I do wish him well. I hope he has a decent time in the league. He's in a nice division for him to play as well. He's not in our division, which would be horrible for him.
Of death.
But yeah, I do welcome him in, of course. I am disappointed in Big Nab. But I always welcome new opportunities, so I do appreciate Lotos coming in.
Yeah, no, that's pretty much sums everything up. I couldn't say it any better, to be honest.
Yeah, I was going to be a little bit harsher, but I decided against it. Alright. Coming in at number 14, a bit of a baptism of fire, of course, newcomer Gakakami of the Omega Quagsires. Having to go against Trancel in your first match is probably not the nicest way to welcome you into a league. But
however, he came out fists flying.
Oh, he went for it.
I think there was one hell of a potential to win that game if it wasn't for some unfortunate hacks.
Yeah,
Damn,
that Glare Superior put in so much more work than even Trancel thought it would do. Obviously, the multiple power hacks on the Clefable, allowing the Leaf Storms to set up, definitely ruined it for him. But nonetheless, a 3-0 against the number 1 player in the league, that's a pretty good start. And that bodes ominous for a lot of the other players that are playing, because there aren't many teams this season that have taken Trancel to 3-0s, right? So, it's going to be interesting to see how he plays. I do like his playstyle. I like the aggression. I said this a lot about a couple of other players in the league as well. The aggression's kind of nice because it is always nice to see people that actually are willing to make these plays. Too often we've seen players, a bit like Krimpix in the early stage of the season, be too passive and get punished for it, right? But Gakakami's not like that. He's a very good player. I have heard rumblings that he's undefeated in the other league he's in, and I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised. But yeah, Pokemon's a cruel game sometimes. He got hacked out of this one, so I'll be interested to see what happens in the coming weeks. He plays me in week 12, I think, so that's going to be a fun match.
That'd be a fun game. I mean, coming out, like I said, fist flying, I mean, I know for a fact that he made Trancel sweat in that game. Trancel, he says himself that he got outplayed multiple times in that match, so future look bright for this guy. I mean, I don't think he can make playoffs at this point. I mean, by damn, he'll probably surprise me now and make playoffs anyway. But, you know, all in all, though, you know, next league, he's definitely going to be one hell of a guy to keep an eye out for, because I don't want to go against him, honestly, in the next season.
I think mathematically, if he only loses one of his last few games, he can still make playoffs. He's not. He's not out of it. But with obviously some of the others we'll talk about a bit later on, it's incredibly difficult right now. Because well, we'll talk about it a little bit further on, but it's definitely interesting to see how far he goes. I'm kind of scared. I'm not gonna lie. I'm pretty scared, and I have to play him later. But yeah,
I think I have to play him at some point as well, which I'm not looking forward to.
Yeah, it's gonna be tough. But hey, welcome to the league, man. You put a good showing up. That's impressive. Alright, coming in at number 13 is our other newcomer, of course. Nitro, unfortunately, didn't get his match ahead this week. He has joined the league. He is a little bit pushed for time, as I have mentioned before. He's a good friend of mine. I've known him for some time. So what's interesting to me is he actually didn't make any changes to the team whatsoever that he took over. That surprised me a lot. But I know Nitro is relatively new to the competitive scene. So with Nitro, I'm not surprised. I think he's just trying to learn how Pokemon work. And he might be another one that maybe had to come in next season. So I'm looking forward to seeing what he does. Hopefully we get to see some battles from him, and we get to see where he's at, because we've not really got much to judge him on at the moment.
Yeah, no, I'm always quite excited to have new people experiencing Draft League for the first time. The fact that I can provide that kind of experience for people, the fact that we can sort of like help and provide that sort of like new stuff for people. I mean, I look forward to seeing how he adapts to Draft League and his future endeavors in GPL. Hopefully, we see him next season and he does well. I look forward to it. I always love having new players come and join.
Absolutely. It's one of my favourite things about this league, actually, is even though there is obviously a difference in level between some players, the top players are helping the lesser players out as well. So it makes it for a lot more fun, a league. But, yeah. Coming in at number 12 is going to be a win streak ender for Solo, unfortunately. Had to come up against DJ's Rain team. Found a little bit wanting. He messed up a lot of prediction games. Made a lot of almost unnecessary aggressive plays that really ended up hurting him. That Conkelda from DJ's team absolutely ruined Solo.
Conkelda, the Ferrothorn explosion on Medcham.
That was a very clever tag as well.
I did not see that coming at all.
The one thing I did like about Solo's team, actually, I did like the freeze dry Vanilux. I was a little bit critical of the Vanilux pickup. I was just thinking, is he still thinking this is summer? Why did he pick up an ice cream cone, right? But that freeze dry was very clever because it actually managed to ruin the Pelipper and try and limit the rain turns, but unfortunately the damage had already been done by the time that play happened. So, yeah. It's an unfortunate situation, but we do see a little bit of tech coming in from Solo, which is interesting to me. But we do see a little bit of over-eagerness. That little bit of over-eagerness just needs to calm down a little bit. Take some time. It looks like, I didn't actually watch the battle live, but it did look like he was rushing his plays with some of the decisions he was making. Hopefully we'll see a little bit of track. He is an aggressive player. He did pick up 2 wins in his first 2 weeks and then unfortunately lost this one. So, good signs. Definitely good signs. Against more experienced players, I do worry about him though. I feel like the more experienced players will be able to punish that aggression. So, we'll see what happens, but I'm excited for him.
Yeah, no, I couldn't agree more. I mean, he's had a good 2 showings. Obviously, this one, Conkelda just sort of punched him down a few notches, but I'm pretty sure this is a loss that he can bounce back from. I'm not quite sure who he fights in as his next opponent.
I'll find out right now. I can't remember either. Let's see. If the doc would be so kind as to load, modern technology and all that. Let's see. Schedule.
Only good when it works.
Week 8. Here's Wicked Weavers. He plays Shadow actually. Which is
okay, that's gonna be an interesting game.
That's gonna be interesting because Shadow is known for the tech. He's known to handle aggression, so
yeah, Shadow's on a bit of a momentum streak at the moment. He's just snowballing, so let's see what Solo can do against see if he can stop that snowball effect or if he's just gonna add to the pile.
Absolutely.
Look forward to that one.
Alright. Coming up next is going to be someone who's on a downward spiral. Is going to be our good buddy Sylvie, of course. Second miserable week in a row. 6-0 losses. 2 straight 6-0 losses, then having to play me next. Now, spoiler alert, we are actually recording this after my match versus Sylvie's gone ahead, but I'm not going to spoil the result. That's for next Power Rankings video, or watch it on my channel. The Team Builder and Battle is up. So... but yeah, it was interesting to see Ditto finally make an appearance, but that Z move on Mew on the Tyrannodar was blunder of the season, I think. Not realizing that Tyrannodar is a dark type.
I think he switched into the Psychic move mine. I'm pretty confident that that's his part. Still, I don't see why Psychium Z would ever become Viscous Crasher to begin with, however.
Yeah, me neither. There's a Mandibuzz and a Tita on that team.
Yeah, like if anything, I think I would have run Hidden Power up Z fighting move. That would have gone from like blunder of the season to like play of the season, maybe, or a good potential of it. However, obviously that's not the case. I guess the only thing Z Psychic would have been good for would be the Toxapex, but even then, there's no way Crash is gonna keep Toxapex in against the Mew.
No. No, not in a month of Sundays, unless he's like fully Spadef and somehow there's a calc that he lives it. But I won't be surprised. Toxapex has got a lot of special bulk. But yeah, but either way, it's just really concerning how he's building very one-dimensional teams. Fairly similar teams. I've been very damning of him for quite a lot, so it's nice to actually see a change in his team. The Ditto didn't really do anything though, which is a bit of an issue. Ditto is one of those mons that's very easy to play around. As soon as you see it, you pretty much know what you're going to get from it. So, it's a little too predictable. I'd like to see a lot more use of the Jolteon. Jolteon is 130 base speed. It's a fast electric type. It's really, really good in Draft League format. Very underrated Pokemon. He does still have a couple of other Pokemon he hasn't used yet, but those Pokemon are not really that great. Lilligant is part of a Suncor, and Samurott was the other one. Interestingly, his two other Z captains he's never even brought to a game yet. So
I don't think we're ever going to see them.
I don't think we're going to see them either. They're pretty low tier for a reason. They're not great, unfortunately. All right.
No.
So rank number 10. I think I'll take this one away. Bit of an unfortunate time to be on a loss streak, I think. 2 losses in a row. Higoshi put him in a lot of a horrible position, particularly that Crocodile. I've talked a lot about offensive Crook being quite scary. I've used Crocodile, of course, in the GPL Season 0, so I'm very familiar with it. I did like the Breloom, though. That Breloom did try his best. Did spore the Zapdos for the Alolan Whack-to-Kill, which was nice. Did actually take out the Darmanitan, which Higoshi still continues to misplay around. It's a little bit concerning about that. But it was a rough matchup for you, and I'm not too surprised to see the loss. I don't think you were either, because I remember you and I were talking about it before, and your first thought with this matchup is, well, fuck, I'm screwed, right?
More or less.
So,
honestly, like, hindsight's a bitch, because when I look back on that game, there's so many things I just could have done better. I think the big thing that really lost me, and I actually jumped into a call with Higoshi after this, and we talked about it, was the explosion on Megros. The Megros was scuffed. But
yeah, I noticed that when I was looking at it.
He brought in his Starmie as a reaction. Now, if I clicked Earthquake, the only thing that he could have then used against me would have been, well, the only thing he would have countered that with would be
Zapdos.
the Sucker Punch, because Zapdos was dead already at this point.
Zapdos
It would have been
dead,
the
yeah,
Sucker Punch from Mawile, but then I guess that would have maybe put Breedril in a better position. Either way, I still think it didn't change too much of an outcome.
No.
Burn was really nice. I think my main problem is Volcanion. Every single game I've brought Volcanion to, I've lost. He's cursed. People of draft do not draft it, I swear to God. It just makes you lose games.
I think the biggest problem you had, though, was how weak your team was to ground. You had 4 Pokemon all weak to Crocodile on your team. And it was kind of scary, because that immediately said to me, as soon as I saw the team build, I'm like, this Crook's gonna win. Like, and
yeah,
sure enough, it happened, right? But it's one of those situations. I don't think Volcanion's a bad Pokemon. I think it's a really good Pokemon.
No,
but the issue is its speed tier. Volcanion has a monstrous special attack, but its speed sucks. Like, you need to almost scarf it in Draft League format to actually be worth it. And even then, if you miss a Steam Eruption, you're gonna look a bit stupid, right?
Which I've done so far twice.
Yeah, which in 2 key situations now it's happened. So it's a bit of a hard Pokemon to play with, but
another big part of the game as well was missing the Steam Eruption on Starmie, because even though the second Steam Eruption wouldn't have killed Starmie, the Life Orb damage would have after it killed me. I think I sacked that off way too quickly, and I just misplayed from that point. It was a misplay after misplay on my part. There was a few good moments, but god damn, like, I don't know. I
mean, you were always on the back foot, honestly. Like,
I went into that game with a bad mentality, I think. I knew I was going to lose, and then I played to my own loss, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, you had a rough matchup, and Goshi put you on the back foot the whole game, and there was no way back for you. And every single misplay just made it easier. It's one of those situations where I didn't see a world where you did win that game, but at the same time, obviously both players are very strong individual players. You know, Pokemon's a cruel game, right? Anything can happen in these kind of matchups. But yeah, I wasn't surprised to see it. I do want to see you pick up some wins, though. Who are you playing
unlikely.
Next? I think you got a hard matchup next, haven't you? You're against Crasher, so
I already played my Crasher game.
Oh, you've already
It's
played your
not-
Crasher game. Alright, spoiler alert, I haven't seen it yet. So, I'm not breaking the fourth wall and I don't know the result. So, I will watch that for next one. But, yeah. Wait, who have you got in week 9 then? Let's see.
Shadow.
Alright, well, that's a fun match for you, so.
My next couple of matches, let's just say it's a very low chance of me
Until
getting through
week
playoffs
10,
at this
where you
point.
play EXO, you're going to have a hard time winning matches.
I'm just not gonna go through. I'm just gonna play the rest of the league, just enjoying myself, you know.
Absolutely. But you never know, right? You pick up a couple of wins out of these hard matchups, and you beat EXO in week 10, you're still well and truly in the playoff race. Like, you're not out of it by any stretch.
We'll
It's
see.
tough. It's tough. You're in a really awful position, but it's still doable. So, I wouldn't rule yourself out just yet. Just try not to misplay all the time. Or don't bring Steam Eruption Volcanion. Bring Hydro Pump
No
instead.
promises. No promises. No promises.
Yeah. Alright. Rank number 9 is our endgame curse, I think, with Dizzy. I get
It's starting to seem that way.
really concerned with Dizzy because he gets into such good leads and then throws. Like, this is at least the 3rd time I've seen that now. And it's starting to get a little bit worrying. He opened up a 3 Pokemon lead in the early game, and then just misplay after misplay after misplay, and then bang, suddenly, the next person on our list gets their first win of the season that they actually played. I'm really worried. I don't know how you see this one.
I remember laying in bed watching this game, and I was like, oh, look at the Mega Aggron go. But then, obviously, I'm not really sure what happened here, honestly. He gets so close and so far, but in the end, it just doesn't even matter, quote Linkin Park. But, I don't know. I guess, it's like Steam, I guess Dizzy plays all his best plays early. But by the end of, he's like how I like to see it, right? Is me and Dizzy and yourself, obviously, have been playing Pokemon competitive for a very long time now, right? Many, many years. I feel like we're all really old wrestlers, like The Undertaker, the
Yeah,
early 60s,
you're not
right?
wrong. That's a good way to put it, actually.
We
Yeah.
start off like really good, but we're old. We run out of steam, and then the match kind of sucks at like over the halfway point. I think that's what's happening, right? I think I'm not ruling Dizzy just that. I think he's still in the playoff runnings in the Sword Division.
Yeah,
and there's
he's in
still
there.
plenty of opportunity for him to get some wins, but he's just getting very unlucky at the end. I think he's blowing all his good plays in the beginning and sort of like either getting too comfortable or not comfortable enough. I'm like, I don't know, honestly. I'll have a talk to him about it and see what's going on.
So, interesting to note with Dizzy, he's up against Gekakami next. One of our newcomers, of course, who is a very strong battler. And then afterwards, he plays the other newcomer. I believe he plays Lotos after that. So, he's got 2 newcomer matches. These are good opportunities for him to actually start picking up some wins and actually get over the line. But I doubt either one of those players are going to make it easy, personally. And then going past that, he plays Crasher. Then he plays, let's see... Then he plays Sylvie. That's a match I favor him in. And then his last match is DJ. So I don't see that one going well for him.
I think despite obviously his record not really reflecting it, I think he can still play against the big boys like Crasher and DJ. I think he can potentially pull out a win if he just doesn't get his endgame curse. Honestly, like I think he can be quite a solid player. I think he just needs to break that curse.
Yeah, I need
Otherwise,
to see him
it's gonna...
actually get a win over the line to be convinced at this point. So these next 2 weeks, I'm going to be keeping a very close eye. He's got good opportunities to pick up wins here before his last 3 weeks are challenging. Apart from Sylvie, who I think he's got a favourable matchup into. But, yeah, I need to be convinced. I need to see more. That's what I need to see. Like, good plays early is one thing, but you gotta be good all the way through. That's what I'm looking for. Hopefully we see it, because I do want to believe he's a good player. I certainly wouldn't think you're wrong, in the sense that you've known him for so long. So it's pretty clear that he's got the skill, he just hasn't got the results yet. Speaking of results, go for it.
Oh, I was gonna say, I think his score is just a bad representation right now because I do know he's a good player. He just needs to get those wins to start reflecting that.
Absolutely.
Anyway, next one, number 8.
Number
We've
8.
got the boy.
We've memed on him for so long that he only wins games that he never plays. It's about time to actually see him win a game. I should have backed him. I'm sorry, Pelly. I didn't back you. I backed Dizzy. But
You're just gonna have to back him every single for the rest of his games now.
yeah, what I should
You're gonna have
do
to back.
is back his opponents every week and reverse psychology say I'm backing Pelly later on. And that way I win either way.
That's cheating.
I know it is. But hey,
But
I'm doing the
you do
video,
pick
so
on
I
the
can do
control.
what I want.
Damn.
Nah.
Well, there we are. That you hear it here first, folks. You know,
But-
you won't be making up the rules on the spot.
Always. That's why I do this stuff. No, I'm joking.
I told
But-
you this boy's a cheater. I told you.
But no, in all seriousness, I'm really happy for Pelly because this is something I've wanted to see. I've wanted to see Pelly get some wins that he actually plays. Because I don't think he's anywhere near as bad as he lets himself on in the Discord. I know he always memes about how he wants to lose every week and then beat Trancel, which would be funny. When does he play Trancel if he does? Niagara Developers.
It would have to be this week.
No. Yeah, it is this week. It is this week. Alright, Pelly.
This week is
Go out there and
interdimensional.
beat Trancel. Go for it.
This
I want to
week
see
is
it.
interdivisional, so this week is the week where both Sword and Shield come together to face each other.
Yeah, that's definitely fun. But yeah, I'm excited for him. I'm happy to see him win. I like the Excadrill. I was critical of the pickup at first, but now I see a justification for it. Although it was lucky, though. I'm not gonna say it was expert play because it wasn't. But the signs are there. It's looking like an opportunity. He does play Lotos in week 9, I believe.
Sounds about right.
I think it's Lotos in week 9, yep. Then afterwards, who else does he play after that? He plays Sylvie in week 10. So that's a match I'm going to be looking for him to win. Immediately offhand. But yeah, I don't want to spoil too much of that. I'll leave some of that for my pick'ems. But it's definitely interesting. It's a bit of an upswing. I believe he's actually in the playoff positions now. Let's see.
I think so.
Yeah,
too.
he's there. He's in the playoff positions right now. So that's interesting to see.
What a-
I don't think we
what
ever
a
thought we'd
twist
see
of
that.
events.
Alright. So, coming in at week number 7 is my boy Exo Stamp. And the Exo Stamp Exo
Love
drills.
Exo Stamp.
Dude,
What a
the
what
guy's
a
a
good stamp.
stampeding monster, man. Like, oh,
Man,
he's,
he's just stamping the competition at the moment.
he
When-
stamped on poor Crimpix's head, and Crimpix was just like, "Save me!" Alright. Nonetheless, though, of
Oh,
course, much needed win for EXO after a rather rough couple of weeks for him. Typical calm and composed match. I actually had a chance to watch this match live. Really nice to see it. Obviously, Crimpix is the lowest ranked player in the league, so you would expect EXO to win. But at the same time, decent players across the board, really. Obviously, the misread on the Aura Sphere on the Magnezone was a little unfortunate, but ultimately, EXO was so far ahead at that point where that happened, even though it was like turn 10, that EXO had the ways to be able to take over Crimpix regardless, even without the Magnezone, so it was really good to see. Really looking forward to his next match, of course. He plays one of the new boys next week, I think. Or this week, rather. So I'm looking forward
Sounds
to seeing
about
that.
right.
Who's the Galvanized
Yeah.
Rangers team? I forgot.
That is the new team. That is Nitro's team.
That's
He
Nitro's
finally
team.
rebranded.
Ah,
Yeah.
I wish I knew that
Galvanized
before, because I had the
Rangers.
wrong team name on. That's why I got confused. So he's playing Nitro this week. That should be an interesting one. Should be a win for EXO. I'll spoil. Well, I didn't do my pick'ems this week, so unfortunately I was unwell and unable to do it. But yeah, I back EXO to win that one. As much as Nitro is my friend, of course, I can't back someone who's inexperienced to play against someone who's continued to be impressive all season long. We were actually talking about it on his stream a couple of nights ago, I think. That he was quite surprised at how well he's been doing. He's been doing okay for a first draft. Like, it's hard to actually think that Exo Stamp's in his first draft, honestly.
Yeah, no, I refuse to believe that this guy is his fifth draft. There's just no way that that's even possible. Dude's just on fire, like especially since So especially since he brought out that Delphox as well, which has really come in handy since he's brought it out.
Don't
Nice to see
remind me.
the
Don't remind
power
me.
hib solar beam. That was really nice play. I really enjoyed that. I mean, I've seen it, and it always makes me happy whenever I see it. It's just some nice, simple, clean, just pure tech that I really just enjoy seeing in draft. I mean, all in all, like he clearly understands his Pokemon, and just general like rule of thumb when it comes to battling, calm, composed. However, the one problem I do see is I still haven't seen them. I need to see the Glalie. The Glalie is good.
Dude, I want to
Use
see it as
God
well.
damn it.
I want to see it. I want to see it
I
do work. He
believe
has
in him.
brought it, but it has not really ever done anything. I want to see it. I want to see what he can do
needs
with
to
it.
use it. I used that clearly once in a draft league. People looked at me weird, but I carried me so hard at some point. It was great.
Alright, so coming in at week number 6, rank number 6, we did actually talk a lot about it with you already. It's a Goshi, of course, picking up a good, huge win. That's the second one in a row as well, which is very nice. One of the things I like about a Goshi is he's beating a lot of the teams around him. He's fighting the playoff contenders at this point. He'll have to play me in week 9, so I'm interested to see how he matches up against me after I really made light work of him the first time we played. So I'll be interested to see the difference that he's made from then to his next match against me. But he's come up huge. He's a very, very strong player at this point. He plays DJ this week, and he's going to be more than a match for DJ, I think. That's going to be a very, very close match. But I would not even rule a Goshi out to win that, honestly. I would think his ability to play his offensive team is really, really strong. My concern is the misplays with the Darmanitan and the fact that that Mega Mawile is not actually able to work as the cleaner that it's very good at.
Yeah. Whew. Wait, who is he fighting? Sorry, I kind of spaced out for a second.
Playing DJ.
DJ. Oh god, yeah. No, that. I don't know if he will be able to overpower DJ at all. Honestly, that's gonna be a real tough game for Agoshi. The secret though is what I learned is Agoshi preps his team 5 minutes before the game and just wrecks people
I've moaned at him about this before.
That boy is too powerful. I like to see what happens if he preps his team like a couple of days in advance. Boy, is he strong. He pulled out a few surprises. I predicted this Pokemon and his items. However, his Darmanitan wasn't actually scuffed that game.
No, I knew it
Fun
wasn't.
fact.
I saw it when I was looking at it.
There was a few surprises. Like he didn't need to scarf any of his Pokemon because my Pokemon are slow.
Yeah, definitely. He just runs
Which
Bandle
feels
Rifle.
bad.
Fine, no problem. But yeah, it's interesting to see. I do want to see him put a bit more effort into his teams. I am concerned because he did actually actively say to me once, "Oh, I'm not really trying in this league. I'm just doing it for the hell of it." That's a mentality I don't like. I will be honest. I'm not a fan of that mentality at all. But at the end of the day, the guy's got a strong draft. The guy's a very offensive player, and he definitely is able to put teams on the back foot. So
Like he didn't even know he was in the playoff running. He thought he was like losing the league, but
well, his
no,
last
to
two
pleasant
wins
surprise.
made him in the playoff run. Like he was way out of it for a while, being 2-3 with a rather weird. I think it was quite a low differential. It wasn't super low, but it was low for someone that's got a positive record. But now he's actually way in there, of course, because he's taken out the teams that are around him. You know, he beat EXO and then he beat you, which were the two teams
that matter.
directly that he's fighting for playoffs. So it's not surprising to see him there, but he does need to put a bit more work in, because I would not be surprised if either you or EXO knock him out, take him out of playoffs completely, because both of you are capable of putting in the results as well as him. So it is going to be a race of who gets the results in the last few weeks as to decide who goes through. Alright.
Yeah, no, I can agree.
Yeah, absolutely. So, coming in at rank number 5, he's still there, despite trashing me this week. Shadow, of course, definitely a differential fixer for him. Fortunately, history repeated itself for me. I got beat 5-0, much like it happened in the GPL final last season. I got beat 5-0 then as well. I did mess up my Cresselia a lot, and he punished me. I don't know what I was thinking going into Cresselia, knowing that Donphan got knocked off. But yeah, he punished me and put me on the back foot. He put me on the back foot the whole time, and I was just like, yeah, there's no way for me here. He's definitely my kryptonite. There's no doubting that. But ultimately, while it does help him for the playoff race, of course, it gives him that little bit of buffer because there are a couple of 4-3s in our division now. He's got that one win ahead. But ultimately, in terms of moving up the actual playoff seeding, he doesn't actually overtake me as the number 2 on differential. So it's now going to be a race as to who's the most consistent in the last few games as to who gets that second spot. But ultimately, I believe it's the top 3 already go through, right? And then it's the wildcard match for fourth seed.
Yeah, that's pretty much it.
So we're obviously all 3 in the positions to get playoffs anyway. It's just going to be who ends up where. But yeah, that does mean, of course, that I actually dropped down to rank number 4. I'll let you talk about that one, of course.
Yep. Like you said, history has repeated itself, and as quite clearly, he is the kryptonite to your superpower in this draft league currently at this moment in time. He just pulled something out of that not many people really see coming. I think that because I was watching your game live when this happened. When you started setting up with Cresselia, I thought that was game over. If you had Moonlight, I think if you had some heal, I
couldn't
think Shadow
fit it
himself.
on though, because I needed the sub for Leech Seed, so I needed Carmine sub and then 2 moves. So I couldn't fit Moonlight on. I really wanted Moonlight on it, but I couldn't fit it on. So my option was either to not run sub and risk the Leech Seed, which is the same thing I did against you with the Shaman, or I run the sub and prevent the Leech Seed and the Toxic. Because in order for me to set up Omega Venusaur, I couldn't be statused. So I was put in that really horrible position where I didn't have the perfect Venusaur answer, right? I didn't have a great Celesteela answer. I didn't have a lot of answers for his bigger mons that are really hard for me to deal with. And that's what kind of cost me a lot. I had a better matchup than I did in the GPL Season 0 Final. My GPL Season 0 Final was not a great matchup at all. Shadow and I talked about it, and he was like, I didn't see any possible team you could have beaten mine with. This time around, I had chances, I just didn't play it properly. I misplayed and I kind of just gave up a little bit. I just was frustrated at my own plays. And at that point, I was just like, if I pick up 1 kill, then that's fine. So, obviously my Mega Aero was the hero, lived on 1% HP, took out the Zydogo.
That roll, the percentage.
Thank God I ran bulk on that thing. But yeah.
Like a 60% chance to kill and you lived. However, yeah, it was definitely an interesting game to watch. I mean, it just shows that obviously you can be beaten and quite convincingly beaten, but I don't see that happening very often unless you are Shadow, which obviously not many people are Shadow apart from Huddled, I guess, got the Shadow name, but you've already 6-0'd him, so yeah, you know, it seems that anyone that has Shadow in the name, they either like win 5-6-0s, either in your favor or against you. So, however, that doesn't mean you guys won't fight again. Playoffs is obviously a thing. You guys progress far enough, you can beat each other in the playoffs. That's where the real game matters. You're both going through in the playoffs anyway. The real game now matters is that game in playoffs. Who can knock who out? You might get lucky, you might finally beat your Kryptonite, and knocking him out of the playoffs will be a bittersweet victory in your part. I think that will definitely put a nice smile on your face.
I mean, to be fair, I'm happy wherever I get, because the reality is making playoffs out of the division we're in is stupid hard, right? When you look at how the teams have gone this season, to get out into playoffs is an achievement in itself. So obviously you'd expect it from a GPL finalist to make it out. Obviously Shadow and I were the finalists last season, so you'd expect us to make it. But the league's a lot more competitive this season. There's double the league size, there's a lot more games to be played, it's a much longer season. So to be able to do it over a 12-week long season is impressive. So it will be interesting to see how far we both get. I don't know how the bracket's going to work out if we do end up meeting before the final, but that will be interesting to see if we do end up meeting before there, or if we meet in that best-of-3 final. Because I think in a best-of-3 I might have a better shot against him than a single game.
Well, let's have a quick look. There is a playoff ranking on the docs now, if you guys haven't seen it. So if you would currently 2nd place, you would go against Shield's wildcard 3. and Shadow would go into the game 5. The only way you guys could fight again is in the finals.
So yeah, Shadow, meet me there. I'm gonna beat you in a best of 3. I'll get my own back, I promise. Nah,
That would be
a fun final.
the most hyped final.
That will be a fun final. I'm looking forward to that. But yeah, we can't get too far ahead of ourselves. I've still got to get there first. I could lose my next 5 games and not even make playoffs, you know? It could happen.
Don't jinx yourself. Yeah. Don't jinx it.
Alright, so coming in at rank number 3, he overtook me, the swine. Crasher, but literally only ahead of me by 1 differential. He's on a 5-game win streak right now. Took a very dominant win over Sylvie. Sylvie's just not anywhere near Crasher's level in team building or battle mechanics. This was a pretty routine win for Crasher. I wouldn't have even said this was much of a contest. This is pretty much the theme I'm feeling with the Sword Division a lot, is Crasher and DJ kind of running away with it, and then the rest of the guys are fighting over the lesser places. So that's going to be the interesting thing. Can Crasher maintain that win streak, though? That's the one thing I'm looking for.
I think he can, honestly. Like, I don't think there's many things that can really, like, stop him at this point. I'm not sure. I think he fights DJ again. That might be an interesting game. But other than that, I don't think anyone can really derail Crasher at this point, if I'm honest. I mean, he's just, week in and week out, he is showing why he deserves to be in the playoffs.
Yeah, he doesn't have a hard match at all, in my opinion. He plays solo week 9.
I'm more interested to see how he plays in the playoffs, because that's when obviously the real contenders are gonna step up and go against each other. And Crasher will also then, if he does get the playoffs, will be fighting people from the Shield division, which, as we've established, is a lot more competitive currently as it stands. So I want to see how that works out, honestly.
Yeah, absolutely. We're not, of course, doubting his ability. We're just pretty much putting it there that as the league has gone, he's had an easier time of it with his own divisional matches, which is obviously fortunate for him. It's unfortunate for the rest of us, of course, because it's putting him right up there, and he's a scary opponent to play. He's not really somebody you want to face week in, week out. But nonetheless, very dominant win. Will he get the same dominant wins? Possibly. He plays, let's see. Oh, he played you this week, which we're not going to spoil, of course. Who does he play next? He plays solo. Then Dizzy, which could be interesting if Dizzy actually gets his game going. Then he plays Pelly, which he should win, and then he plays Lotos, who we don't really know much about yet. So it'll be interesting to see. I think those are on paper 4 wins for him after this week, of course. But this is Pokemon, right? You can be upset. So he has lost twice this season, so he's not unbeatable. So for all those who've still got to play him, go beat him. That's your challenge, right? Alright, coming in at number 2 then. Back on his winning ways and still number 1 in the Sword Division is DJ, of course. With that Conkelda off the back, of course. Pretty much a solid win. Really good out positioning on solo, who obviously couldn't quite hit back anywhere near hard enough. His week game matchup is challenging. I am looking at DJ versus Agoshi as the hype match for this week. I'll be interested to see how he matches up against Agoshi, because while Agoshi's not the strongest player currently in the Shield division, Agoshi's a big threat. So that's what I'm looking for now. I'm interested to see how DJ can handle the more difficult Shield division players.
Yeah, it is going to be an interesting showing. I do, however, feel that his team is on paper looks a bit better against Agoshi's team. However, Agoshi builds well, can prep for it. Maybe he'll pull something out of the bag. I feel like both players have the potential to pull something surprising out of the bag. I can never really predict what Agoshi's really ever going to do, honestly. Like, he's so unpredictable in most cases.
Either way, I think it's a narrow win either side. I don't think this is a stomp for Agoshi or a stomp for DJ.
It's either a 6-0 or a 1-0. It's not going to be in between either one. Like, it's going to be close, or it's not going to be one-sided. Yeah. That's how I think it's going to go.
So it'll be interesting to see. I'm looking forward to seeing that match, of course. But in fairness, DJ's had to win his games, and he's done a very good job at doing it. Only one loss, of course, which isn't really that bad in a 7-week part of the season to only lose once is impressive. Speaking of only losing once, can we please nerf this guy? He keeps doing this to us, right? We nerfed him once.
I tried.
Also, my camera suddenly got small. Let me fix that, right? But yeah, we tried, of course, but unfortunately, Gakakami couldn't quite manage to nerf him far enough. Did pick up a 3-0 win, of course. Had to work hard for it and a good stroke of luck, but when you're in your good form, fortune always favors you. I feel like I'm having that form right now. I'm picking up wins consistently by, well, not necessarily by hacks, but I'm picking it up by situations going in my favor. So Transil's doing the exact same thing, but he's been dominant all season long. Like, this guy's got a really strong draft and he knows how to use it.
He gets to fight Pelly this week, which I think is going to be a tough game for Pelly, but I'm not sure if I don't think Hectic is, or Transil rather, is going to be thinking too hardly about this game. I think he's quite comfortably going to be able to prep for this team without much worry, honestly. I mean, he's shown that he's an excellent team builder already, and I don't think that he can play to his strengths and he knows his weaknesses. I think he's definitely going to be one heck of a contender for the for that final slot. I think.
Oh, yeah,
I look forward to seeing some games. Next 4 weeks, I don't see him losing. I mean, he's lost once in 7 weeks. I don't see him losing much at all. Maybe one loss, maybe. I'm not sure his opponents.
He plays me week 10, which I think is his hardest opponent.
Yeah, so maybe
well,
then
I
see
that.
that
He plays Shadow week 11, and then he plays you week 12. So his last 3 matches are challenging, but I wouldn't put it past him to win them.
There's potential, but even in all of those 3 matches, I still feel like he's going to be the favorite to win.
Oh yeah, he's definitely favorite based on his performance so far. He's definitely favorite.
Any win against Transil at this point is just going to be classified as an upset win. So
yeah, basically that's how strong he's been this season. And good on him. Good on him.
At this point, you know, to you, Transil, you are definitely going to be in those playoffs, and at this point, I don't even need to watch the rest of the games, honestly. I have to because I just did.
It's like, oh, it's Transil. Here's another win. God damn it. How many kills did the opponent Pokemon get? You know, that's pretty much what it's like.
Yeah, at this point, I'm just more so looking now towards that future, you know, at the playoff stage. So that's where you show up, that's where he kicks ass, and that's where he can potentially take it all, honestly.
Alright, and with that, that's going to be our power rankings. We've rambled on for a very long time. Our record was 45 minutes. We're now nearly 48. But yeah, thank you, of course, Dinistrio, for joining me as always.
No problem. Look forward to the next one.
And we are going to get on out of here. My name is Rabombi Teacher. I'm your coach of the Royal Bournemouth Rabombies. Stay safe, stay awesome, and I'll see you guys next time. Take care.